Chapter 372, minus 372, another honey trap. Chase him. Damn, how did you pull off that skill? Nice, that prediction was perfect, wave after wave. Fang Jueyu's room echoed with his ecstatic shouts. Thunder Technologies' League of Legends team, in their first competition year, had already made it to the World Championship Finals and even reached the top 4. These guys really didn't let me down. Fang Jueyu opened Weibo to see everyone singing their praises. Their XXO team had burst out of the spring season, clinching second place, then took the summer championship, and now they were in the World Championship semifinals. Despite some minor mistakes due to lack of experience, their performance was already outstanding. Fang Jueyu immediately reposted the news on Weibo. If the XXO team can win and keep the championship in Huaxia, every player's and coach's salary will double next year. I'm in a good mood today, giving out 200 tickets for on-site seating, including flights and accommodations. Oh my God, I was wondering who was so rich to come to the competition on a private jet, staying in top hotels and feasting every day. Turns out it's the Dean's team, no wonder. Dean, your team is fighting tooth and nail here. Why did you go to Sun Country? Do you have some special business to discuss over there? Dog head for survival. Dean, if you meet those goddesses, remember to get us an autograph. I heard that both Sun Country and this country are famous for, you know. These cheeky bastards, Fang Jueyu chuckled, closing Weibo. Sometimes he could hardly handle his fans' cheeky comments. Young master, may I come in? Mida Ai's voice came from outside the door. Oh, come in. Fang Jueyu straightened his somewhat disheveled clothes from being too excited. What's up? Why are you looking for me now? Young master, it's like this. The president personally called just now. They have a plan regarding those rents and interests but need to discuss it with you. They've arranged to meet you at the presidential palace the day after tomorrow. All right, I got it, Fang Jueyu nodded, although he found it curious how, faced with such a massive debt, they could come up with a plan. Young master, the president also said they've arranged for you to stay at a 5-star hotel near the presidential palace for your convenience. You can check in tomorrow, making it easier for your meeting since it's quite a distance from here. Sounds good. Fang Jueyu nodded. Arrange it for me tomorrow, and I can also check out the local customs and lifestyle along the way. Understood, young master, I'll get on it right away. Mida Ai bowed and left. Zioyi, what do you think? A faint smile played on Fang Jueyu's lips. They're obviously the passive side. Logically, shouldn't they come to us to discuss this? And now they're making me go over there and stay at a hotel for a night. Do they really take me for a fool? Ha ha ha, host, maybe they're planning to mess you up tomorrow night. If you're gone, they could recoup and erase those 2 items, and then they wouldn't need to pay back the money. No way, right? I've already crossed paths with Ryukawa Tsukio. Isn't he the ninja emperor of Dark Ninja? Wouldn't he inform Kazama Suke of my status? Host, these people are all operating with their own agendas now. If they found out about your special identity, Ryukawa Tsukio probably couldn't hide the peculiarities of that meteorite from Kazama Suke. Do you think Kazama Suke would easily let Ryukawa Tsukio gain all the benefits from the meteorite? That's true, indeed. Sun Country and Ryukawa Tsukio were just maintaining a delicate balance, mutually restraining and utilizing each other, each harboring their own intentions, so sharing all information wasn't an option. No worries, it's no big deal. If not even Ryukawa Tsukio could kill me, Kazama Suke would at most send out a few superpower users, and I can smack down 10 of those with one hand. Then I can extort some emotional damages from them, ha ha ha. Mida Ai acted like a tour guide, taking Fang Jueyu around the capital of Sun Country, admiring various famous sites. Fang Jueyu was a bit confused. Wasn't she accompanying him? How come Mida Ai seemed more engrossed in playing around? It's hard to say if shopping is an innate talent for women. After a whole day, she still seemed full of energy, while Fang Jueyu, with the physique of a hidden elementer, actually felt a bit tired. By evening, people from the Mida family had taken him to the hotel Kazama Suke had arranged. Kazama Suke did a convincing job. He had set up Fang Jueyu in the best hotel in the entire capital, and the one closest to the presidential palace. Young master, father is worried about you staying here alone, so I'll be in the room next to yours. If you need anything, just let me know, Mida Ai said. Got it. Someone might try to assassinate me tonight. What could you, a small girl who can't even crush a chicken with her bare hands, do for me? He laughed, shaking his head, and walked into his room. The room was spacious and luxurious, with crystal chandeliers, fur flooring, and even a private hot spring. But he was still a bit unaccustomed to the tatami. How was this any different from sleeping on the floor? However, this made Fang Jueyu think about a certain art film series setting. If Gogh Xinyu were here, maybe they could have a scene in the hot spring. Just as Fang Jueyu was letting his imagination wander, someone knocked on the door. Opening it, he saw a woman dressed alluringly maturely and another young woman looking pure and shy standing there. They had a tray with towels and other bath items in their hands. "Mr. Fang, we're here to assist you with your bath." The two women lifted their heads, faces flushed. Wait, why did these two seem familiar? Damn, weren't they Habuto Asuka and Hashimoto Kanako? The last time in England, during the Queen's birthday banquet, Fang Jueyu had a brief encounter with Hashimoto Kanako. Back then, she even attempted to take advantage of him, but Gogh knocked her out. He still remembered her resentful look when he saw her later. As for Habuto Asuka, she was highly popular among Huaxia's otakus, a rare beauty according to Huaxia tastes, especially considering she was born in 1998. Hashimoto Kanako recognized Fang Jueyu too, clearly not expecting to see him here. Habuto Asuka and Hashimoto Kanako had completely packed schedules. As top entertainers in Sun Country, they almost never had personal time. However, that morning, their agency gave them shocking news. The company instructed them to serve a Huaxian and fulfill his every need without any room for dissatisfaction. As well-known Asian celebrities, how could they comply with such requests? They were performers, not hostesses from some local establishment. Even the people in those establishments had strict rules. The phrase, "fulfill any request," basically implied that even if the Huaxian wanted them to sleep with him, they had to comply. Despite having been famous for quite some time, their agency had protected them well. Neither of them had ever even had a boyfriend, making the situation all the more alarming. Yet their agency told them it was a direct order from Sun Country's Ministry of Culture, leaving them no choice unless they wished to no longer be active in the entertainment industry. Moreover, even if they quit the industry, they wouldn't have anywhere to stay in Sun Country, a stark threat. Chapter 373-373. Nutrition can't keep up. Sure, here is the translation for the provided text. "Mr. Fang, may we come in?" Hashimoto Kanako said cautiously. They had originally thought they would be serving an obese, money-using businessman or an official full of political and economic talk. To their surprise, the person turned out to be Fang Jueyu. What was he doing in Tokugawa, and why was he showing up here? Why were they assigned to serve him? She had already prepared for the worst, but seeing Fang Jueyu instantly brought a slight surprise. The last time she was with him, she willingly wanted something to happen between them. On second thought, though it was a different way, it didn't seem like much of a loss. As for Habuto Asuka, though she hadn't met Fang Jueyu, she recognized that this young man was currently the world's richest individual. Now it looked like Hashimoto Kanako and Fang Jueyu seemed to know each other. She was getting more confused. "Oh, please come in," Fang Jueyu said, his mind a bit muddled. Is Kazama-suke really that sly? Is this their so-called strategy, sending two goddess-level actresses to make me relent? Are they not afraid of losing everything? They're underestimating me too much, right? Although young and impulsive, Fang Jueyu had physiological needs, but that didn't mean he always thought with his lower body. Otherwise, Hashimoto Kanako would have been dealt with right where they stood last time. At his core, he was relatively loyal. Whether mentally or physically, he would try to control himself. Kazama-suke's idea was bound to fail. However, since someone was here to serve him, he might as well enjoy it. He had never experienced being served by top-tier stars. "Mr. Fang, the president instructed us to take care of you tonight. If you have any needs, feel free to tell us." Hashimoto Kanako's voice grew quieter. "We will fulfill all of them for you." Damn, who can withstand this? Fang Jueyu now understood how painful it was to act righteously. "Master, I'm going to despise you alongside your father if you refuse what comes to your door." Zaioi fanned the flames from the side. "Don't provoke me, it's useless. I'm not like my dad." Before meeting Gogh Xinyu, Fang Jueyu might have indulged himself. With two goddesses delivered to him, who could resist? "Mr. Fang, we're going to change clothes." Habuto Asuka and Hashimoto Kanako blushed and walked into a room. "Change clothes? Aren't you supposed to serve me? Why change clothes?" Fang Jueyu seemed a bit confused by the local customs. He glanced at the tray, which held a clean bathrobe, a towel, and a glass bottle filled with some viscous liquid. "What the? Are they really here to provide a full service? I'm out of here." Fang Jueyu promptly went into the hot spring room. After a day of play, he was genuinely a bit tired. The hot spring's fatigue-relieving effect was quite remarkable. Coupled with a few cycles of the potential guiding technique, his whole body relaxed. So refreshing. The local hot spring was a bit different from the artificial one at his home. The comfort seeping into his bones made him go limp all over. Even if those two goddesses wanted something from him, he might not be willing to leave the spring. Not long after, two footsteps grew closer. Fang Jueyu turned around and nearly had a nosebleed due to high blood pressure. One had black silk, the other white. One was alluring like a demon, the other pure like an angel. Hey, what are you trying to do? Fang Jueyu quickly wrapped himself in a towel. Helping Mr. Fang take a bath and scrub your back. No need, I'm used to bathing myself. Fang Jueyu couldn't help but step back 2 steps, wondering whether this was Tokugawa or the northeastern region, where the bath culture was so prevalent. Mita AI gave him a back scrub last time. He acted like a delicate young girl, afraid the two goddesses would pounce on him like hungry wolves. We're all adults, why don't you just say your true intentions? Are you here because Kazama Suke asked you to accompany me? Fang Jueyu didn't like guessing games, so he laid it all out on the table. Indeed, this order came from Kazama Suke. In fact, there was another unspeakable task, which was to have a relationship with Fang Jueyu if possible. Mr. Fang, the order came from the president. We had no choice, Hashimoto Kanako said pitifully. Please let us stay. If you drive us away, the president will think we didn't do a good job. Our acting careers are secondary. We're just worried about our families. Yes, Mr. Fang, no matter what, please let us stay tonight. Habuto Asuka also pleaded. This Kazama Suke is really despicable, Fang Jueyu cursed under his breath. Don't worry, you can stay tonight. I'll speak with Kazama Suke tomorrow. Thank you, Mr. Fang. Habuto Asuka and Hashimoto Kanako were relieved. Then we. You two leave now. I really don't need it. I have a girlfriend. I'm not a jerk, Fang Jueyu said righteously, hammering home his point. Seeing Fang Jueyu, the two women instantly laughed. This Fang Jueyu was really a good person, but did their bodies have no allure at all? Especially for Hashimoto Kanako, having been rejected twice already left them slightly disappointed. Phew, finally gone, Fang Jueyu breathed a sigh of relief. Facing such temptations daily was truly draining. However, this matter surely is that simple. Calmly, Fang Jueyu began to see more issues. The land deeds and debt contents were in black and white. Even if he did end up sleeping with the two goddesses, did the opposing party think he'd charge less? Master, do you know when a person's alertness is at its lowest? Zaioi suddenly asked. Of course, when they're asleep. No, it's when they're doing the deed. Zaioi smirked evilly. If someone tried to kill you while you're at it, would you notice? This is too sinister. Fang Jueyu was suddenly enlightened. But they clearly misunderstood the situation, haha, Zaioi laughed. If you were an ordinary person, this trick might really work, but Kazama Suke was obviously tricked by Ryukawa Tsukio. You're not just an ordinary person, you're someone strong enough to destroy their dark ninjas. But master, you do have acquaintances in Tokugawa. Gu Yi's cousin Gu Zin often resides here. Why not ask Miss Zhuang to have her come guard you? This way, you won't have to worry about being disturbed while doing your business. Although Gu Zin isn't as formidable as Gu Yi, she's still at the mid-stage of the hidden elementers. The dark ninjas couldn't even approach within a kilometer of the hotel. If you truly can't resist, hee. Stop teasing me, I'm going to report you. You really are a rogue system, right? Chapter 374. 374 Chapter. Arrange for Mizuhara Rimi. Fang Jueyu finished soaking in the hot spring and returned to the living room. Habuto Asuka and Hashimoto Kanako were sitting nervously on the sofa, still wearing the same clothes from earlier. Their outfit clearly made them uncomfortable, and they were a bit tense. Ding dong, the doorbell rang. Fang Jueyu opened the door to find Mita AI and a chef standing outside. The chef obviously looked Huaxian and smiled warmly. Young master, I was worried you wouldn't get used to the food here. Fortunately, there's a Huaxia restaurant nearby, so I've brought you some things according to your taste. Young master, what's wrong? Mita AI noticed Fang Jueyu's odd expression. He seemed to be blocking the door, not wanting people to come in. Mr. Fang, what's going on? Do you need help? Just then, Habuto Asuka and Hashimoto Kanako came over upon hearing the commotion. Young master, you, Mita AI immediately had a strange expression on her face. No wonder Fang Jueyu wasn't letting him in. It turned out to be a hidden beauty situation. HMPH, men are all the same. Zio AI, let me explain. Fang Jueyu felt wronged. He had just resisted such a great temptation without crossing the line, and now he was being misunderstood by Meta AI. This was too pitiful. Why explain to me? Meta AI showed an I get it smile. This must be a setup by Mr. President, right? Enjoy, young master. I'll have someone send more food over later. She paused for a moment. Should we prepare tools and medicine for you? Zio AI, it's not what you're thinking. Fang Jueyu was about to cry. Look, they are not ordinary people, Habuto Asuka and Hashimoto Kanako. I don't have the capability to have them here with me. Kazama Suke's people arranged this. Meta AI then noticed their identities. Indeed, these were famous actresses from Donku country. How could they just appear in Fang Juyu's room out of nowhere? What's going on here? Meta AI was also puzzled. I guess they want to use a honey trap to make me lose my guard, and then arrange for me to mysteriously disappear from this hotel, Fang Jueyu said. Huh, Meta AI became tense immediately. Should I quickly have my father send a few bodyguards over? No need. Your young master has a side job as a martial arts instructor. Since they delivered them to me, there's no reason to refuse. Let's see what they plan to do tonight. The Meta family members had to learn the Huaxia language from a young age. Fang Jueyu communicated with Meta AI entirely in Huaxian. Habuto Asuka and Hashimoto Kanako were utterly bewildered as they listened. To be honest, they were merely being used as tools. Okay, got it. Meta AI already believed in Fang Juyu's abilities. Since he said there was no problem, he probably had some confidence, right? She added one more thing, but if you can't resist, just let me know. I'll prepare things for you. Fang Jueyu. Meta AI and the chef left, having brought over a cart full of food. Habuto Asuka eagerly helped push the cart inside. She loved Huaxia cuisine, and the aroma made her sniff involuntarily. A goddess is a goddess, her gluttonous look is just too cute. Fang Jueyu watched pleased. Even though he wouldn't do anything inappropriate, indulging in some eye candy seemed harmless. Do you want to eat? Let's eat together. Fang Jueyu brought out the dishes. Though not as extravagant as at home, it was a feast for three. Can we? Habuto Asuka and Hashimoto Kanako looked pleasantly surprised. Let's eat. Fang Jueyu was also hungry and immediately picked up his chopsticks to dig in. The sky gradually darkened. Fang Jueyu was unfamiliar with the area, or else he would have wanted to visit some specialty shops to get some teacher photo books, like from Teacher Mamatani, Teacher Kishi. How about we play a game? Fang Juyu's gaze lingered on Habuto Asuka and Hashimoto Kanako. They sensed his intense gaze and felt a bit nervous. Do you know how to play mahjong? As a Huaxia man, he always had to promote the country's culture. We do. Hearing this, Habuto Asuka and Hashimoto Kanako became spirited. They had done events in Huaxia a few times and once coincidentally learned the game. It even spread among a small circle in the entertainment industry. We're just missing one more person, Hashimoto Kanako said. Do you know anyone else who can play? Fang Jueyu asked. He didn't want to ask Meta AI to join. If the opportunity to have a cozy evening with these goddesses arose, he might feel more reserved with Meta AI around, even if he had no intention of doing anything improper. Mizuhara Rimi can play too. We once played with her. Habuto Asuka said excitedly. I remember she's in the capital today, but she seems to have some event. She might not be able to come. No worries, small issue, leave it to me. Fang Jueyu perked up upon hearing it was Mizuhara Rimi. You have to know, Mizuhara Rimi is one of the hottest actresses in Huaxia. Her beauty has won over countless discerning Huaxian girls. Many of his female friends use her picture as an avatar. He remembered she was also at the England banquet last time. Fang Jueyu immediately took out his phone. He had the contact number for the person in charge of receiving him at the hotel. It seemed to be Kazama Suke's assistant, who told him to reach out for any issues or trouble. At this time, a secret office in Donku country had over a dozen people seated. Two ninja-clad individuals stood nearby, creating a heavy atmosphere. Is everything arranged? The person at the head of the table was none other than Donku country's president Kazama Suke. Rest assured, Mr. President. I've arranged for Ms. Habuto Asuka and Ms. Hashimoto Kanako to serve him. Given their charm, I don't believe any Huaxian man could resist. As long as his attention is slightly diverted, our sent superpower user Mr. Jing Ci will be able to kill him. Are you confident? Kazama Suke didn't seem relaxed. This Fang Jueyu came to Donku country alone without bringing any bodyguards. I suspect he might also be a superpower user. Today in my hotel meeting with him, the instruments detected no superpower reactions, Kazama Suk's assistant said. As long as he lets his guard down, we have over an 80% chance. What about the Mita family? The Mita family is only wealthy. They have a few low-level superpower users hired at high prices, but none are protecting Fang Jueyu. Great, Kazama Suk finally smiled. It seemed this Huaxian wasn't as hard to handle as he imagined. What a pity to sacrifice our rare Danku country actresses. I haven't even had a chance to enjoy their allure, many people thought regretfully. Just then Kazama Suk's phone rang, drawing everyone's eyes to him. Mr. President, it's a call from Mr. Fang. Kazama Suk's assistant spoke nervously, perhaps guilty from plotting an assassination. Receiving his call now made them flustered. Answer it, Kazama Suk commanded. His assistant switched the phone to speaker mode. Hello, Mr. Shimari, I need a favor. Please tell me, Mr. Fang, whatever you need, I'll definitely arrange it for you. Tonight, I want Ms. Yuhara Rimi to accompany me. Help me arrange it. Chapter 375-375. Come, play mahjong with me. Did you think you could treat our country like a brothel? Shimari Tan trembled with anger, feeling humiliated enough that Habuto Asuka and Hashimoto Kanako were sent to him as playthings. Yet Fang Jueyu was still unsatisfied and demanded even more outrageous things. Wanting Ms. Yuhara Rimi to spend the night with him, did he think he was the king of the world? Did he want every top female star of the nation to spend the night with him too? But Shimari Tan didn't dare to say this out loud. This was someone he couldn't afford to offend, no matter how unreasonable his demands were. Thinking about this, Shimari Tan took a deep breath, making an effort to calm his tone. Mr. Fang, I can't make this decision on my own. I need to discuss it with my superiors. All right, I'll give you 5 minutes to discuss. If you can satisfy me, I might consider cutting you some slack on the money you owe me, Fang Jueyu said before hanging up without hesitation. Mr. President, this. Since the call was on speakerphone, everyone heard it, and their faces were all grim. Agree to his terms. After a moment of thought, Kazama Suk immediately agreed to Fang Jueyu's excessive demands. In this country, entertainers still didn't have such high status. Otherwise, in England, Hashimoto Kanako wouldn't have resorted to seducing Fang Jueyu. In Kazama Suk's mind, the country was rich with people and beautiful women, and one Ms. Yuhara Rimi wasn't a big deal. Besides, they planned to take Fang Jueyu's life tonight. His request was just proving that he was going to be thoroughly distracted by the 3 actresses tonight, right? After his indulgence, it wouldn't be a question of whether he paid attention or not. The man would probably be exhausted on the bed, making the assassination more assured. Mr. Yuan, you handle this. Deliver her within half an hour, Kazama Suk immediately arranged. Yes, I'll get on it right away. Ms. Yuhara Rimi was one of this country's most popular female stars, not only the goddess in countless otaku hearts, but also appealing to both men and women. Today was the launch event for her new movie, Natural Death. She came to the capital to attend this press conference, with numerous reporters and media in attendance. Many fans even traveled long distances just to catch a glimpse of her. In the dressing room, Ms. Yuhara Rimi was wearing a light yellow sweater and a pencil skirt that accentuated her perfect figure, with a blue ribbon tied in her hair, blending a mature charm with a hint of playful cuteness. Rimi, you look really beautiful today. Ms. Yuhara Rimi's friend and manager snapped photos of her from every angle. Yuna, stop taking pictures and let me eat something. I rushed over here and didn't even have dinner. Ms. Yuhara Rimi was slurping down a bowl of flavored ramen in front of her. Her wolfish appetite didn't diminish her charm. Instead, it added a cute foodie quirk to her, loved by fans. By the way, where are Ms. Habuto and Ms. Hashimoto? They usually hang out with you when we're in the capital. Ms. Yuhara Rimi was good friends with them, frequently going shopping and traveling together. Maybe they know how busy you are today. Ms. Yuhara Rimi gulped down the bowl of ramen and wiped her mouth before reapplying her lipstick. The event is about to start. Help me check my makeup for any issues. Just then Yuna's phone rang. Rimi, I have to take a call, it's President Sato. Sato Keigo was the president of Ms. Yuhara Rimi's agency, the largest entertainment company in the country. He wielded numerous resources and connections, supporting Ms. Yuhara Rimi's rise to fame. President, Yuna said respectfully. President, how could this be? The event is about to start, and how can you ask Rimi to spend the night with someone from Huaxia? As she spoke, Yuna's tone suddenly became exceedingly agitated. Mizuhara Rimi looked over but couldn't hear their conversation. However, she heard Yuna mention her spending the night with someone from Huaxia. What was going on? Gradually, Yuna's expression darkened, her tone becoming feeble. Yes, President, I understand. I'll inform Rimi and I'll arrange for someone else to stand in for this event. Yes, yes. Yuna, what's going on? Mizuhara Rimi asked nervously. Rimi, change your clothes. This event might be cancelled. Yuna shook her head. The president just called, telling me that tonight you are to go to the Imperial Center Hotel to accompany a young man from Huaxia. Whatever he wants to do, you are not to resist. How could that be? Since entering the industry, President Sato had always protected Mizuhara Rimi well, and no unspoken rules had ever touched her. How could he suddenly ask her to do this? The president says it was specifically requested by the Minister of Culture. It's the president's order. If you don't comply, the consequences might not be limited to being blacklisted in the industry. Yuna sighed. The president said he wants to refuse, but the Minister of Culture was adamant. If this matter isn't handled well, the company will collapse within a week, and he will be charged with treason. Treason? Mizuhara Rimi exclaimed. Who was this young man that the president would use such terms to threaten her? Rimi, you have no choice. Yuna was helpless. The president said a car will be waiting for you outside in 10 minutes. Prepare yourself. Mizuhara Rimi fell into silence. When she entered this circle, she had mentally prepared herself to face such situations, though she never expected the prime minister to order her to accompany a young man from Huaxia. She naturally didn't want to do this, but being in this industry, she had heard many dark tales. Some actresses, having offended the wrong people, saw their careers end and even their families suffer. Though she was a top-tier star, she was still just a star. Let's go. Mizuhara Rimi's eyes reddened slightly. She, like the president said, had no choice. Fang Jueyu was becoming bored while waiting in the hotel. He had just turned on the TV, and the hotel's TV had a special channel. The inappropriate content made the innocent Habuto Asuka and Hashimoto Kanako blush immediately. Startled, he quickly turned off the TV. If the atmosphere shifted in that direction, he didn't know if he could restrain himself. Ding dong, the doorbell finally rang. Heth, they're here. Fang Jueyu chuckled and hurried to open the door. Mizuhara Rimi, known for her pure and cute style, was dressed casually with her long hair down and the blue ribbon still tied, exuding a strong sense of youthful girliness. Her manager stood beside her, paralyzed with fear, worried about accidentally angering this young man. Hey, are you Mr. Fang? Mizuhara Rimi asked, trembling. Oh yes, it's me. I've been waiting for you. Come in. Fang Jueyu stepped aside, and Mizuhara Rimi saw Habuto Asuka and Hashimoto Kanako waving at her from inside. You both? Mizuhara Rimi noticed their attire, confirming they were here to spend the night with him. So, she wasn't the only one arranged to be here. Come in, why are you standing there? We're missing one for Mahjong. Chapter 376, minus 376 brothers, missing one for a trio. Miss Mizuhara is here too. At this moment, Mita AI also arrived, carrying 3 small packages. Their outfits were simply too overwhelming. Even though Fang Jueyu could restrain himself, it was still too exhausting for his body, so he directly asked Mita AI to bring over some more normal clothes. The Mita family had many private clothing factories, and with one phone call, Mita AI had 3 sets of custom clothes delivered, tailored to Hashimoto Kanako and the others' measurements. Why don't you go change first? My body can't handle you dressed like this. Fang Jueyu quickly handed them the clothes. Young master, I'll take my leave now. If you need anything, just call for me, Mita AI said. Wait, AI, could you get me a mahjong machine? This place is supposed to be a presidential suite, and it doesn't even have a mahjong table. Mita AI was at a loss for words. With 3 delicate goddesses here, not only did Fang Jueyu not do anything, but he even wanted to play mahjong with them. Wasn't this way too nerdy? And this was in the land of the rising sun, not in Huaxia. Is this national treasure found everywhere? Okay, young master, I'll get it for you right away. Although it was a bit troublesome, it wasn't too difficult. Mita AI immediately went out to handle it. Soon, the 3 women changed and came out. The clothes fit perfectly and were extremely comfortable. As first-tier celebrities, they usually wore big brands, but they had never experienced such comfort before. Please have a seat. There's no need to be so formal, Fang Jueyu hosted them. I know the president brought you here for a reason, but I have a girlfriend and I won't do anything to you. How about keeping me company for some mahjong and chatting tonight? Hearing Fang Jueyu say so, the three of them breathed a sigh of relief. Standing at Fang Jueyu's door, they had already mentally prepared themselves for anything. Otherwise, they wouldn't have come. But Fang Jueyu's gentlemanliness took them by surprise. No way, we can't miss taking a few selfies with this kind of treatment, can we? With this thought, Fang Jueyu immediately took out his phone and snapped away, making it look like a private party by piling up some fruit plates and drinks. He opened Weibo and uploaded a few photos. Moments later, the platform was flooded with comments. Damn, isn't that my goddess? Dean, you beast. Dean, when did you sneak off to the land of the rising sun? Is this a private party? Is anyone else there? I want to see Sasaki Nozomi and Aragaki Yui. Dean is amazing, showcasing Huexia's might. Dean, can you handle this? Need help? I'll book a flight right now. You're dreaming. I'm healthy, let me come. Isn't today the press conference for Mizuhara's new movie? I traveled all the way to Capital City just to be told by the organizers that Mizuhara had a last-minute engagement and couldn't come. Turns out she was off with the dean. I'm so jealous. Dean, short one for a team. At Xinyu's sister. Don't overthink it, guys. I'm here in the land of the rising sun for business, just too bored at night and grabbed some girls for mahjong. Don't get too excited. Fang Jueyu posted another update. 6666. The dean's moves are countless, just grabbing some girls for mahjong, and yet he managed to gather 3 goddesses from the land of the rising sun's entertainment circle. Dean, I don't believe it unless you livestream it all. This is too nerdy. I despise you in mind and body. The netizens never took things seriously. When Fang Jueyu had Meta AI take a picture of the 4 of them playing mahjong, the cheeky netizens went even crazier, with some even questioning whether Fang Jueyu's brother was working properly. They hadn't finished a single round of mahjong when Xinyu sent a video call. Fang Jueyu slapped his forehead, realizing he was too caught up in showing off and had completely forgotten that women are the most jealous creatures. Hee Xinyu, I'm just playing mahjong with people, don't overthink it, Fang Jueyu said with a forced smile. Who cares about that? Xinyu said, quick, let me see Mizuhara, she's my goddess. You're not following the script here. Fang Jueyu thought Xinyu was going to scold him, but she turned out to be starstruck instead. Miss Mizuhara, my girlfriend is a fan of yours, can she chat with you? Fang Jueyu embarrassingly handed over the phone. Of course. Mizuhara Rimi took the phone, and soon, shrieks of excitement came from the other end, and it wasn't just one person. Today happened to be the birthday of one of Xinyu's roommates, and Zhou Jing and Long Wei's screams could be heard as well. Xinyu unexpectedly spoke fluent Japanese, and they chatted enthusiastically with Mizuhara Rimi for half an hour before reluctantly ending the call, even setting a date for her to visit Huexia. Don't do anything stupid tonight, understood? Xinyu left a threat-laden message. Okay, I know. Fang Jueyu handled it carelessly. If he genuinely intended to do anything, he wouldn't have posted it on Weibo. He'd already be busy by now. Come on, let's continue with mahjong, Fang Jueyu called out, and the room was filled with the clatter of tiles. Little did they know, 3 superpower users, covered head to toe and nearly impervious to detection, stealthily approached the hotel perimeter. Standing almost vertically against the walls as if on flat ground, they peered through the window's gaps and saw Fang Jueyu, who was seemingly dominating the game. But when they saw what these people were doing, they were instantly dumbfounded. A young man of 20, inviting 3 top female celebrities to his hotel room, only to play mahjong. Should we wait? Could this be a Huexian's trap? The 3 dark ninjas were filled with suspicion. Wait, I can't believe they can actually play mahjong all night. It was only 10 o'clock. Perhaps they'd tire soon and start doing something else. Their mission was to strike with precision when the time came. After finishing 4 rounds of mahjong, all 4 people were nodding off. Fang Jueyu's mahjong skills were quite poor, but these girls from the land of the rising sun weren't that great either. As a national treasure, Fang Jueyu had a blast. I'll sleep in this room, you can pick any other. Fang Jueyu yawned and headed to the largest room. He really didn't do anything. The superpower users outside, who had been waiting for 2 hours, were shocked. What now? Keep waiting, we'll act when he falls asleep. The superpower user was worried. Although vigilance decreases while sleeping, it doesn't compare to post-activity relaxation. They had several concerns about the operation's success rate. Is it possible? Did he really just fall asleep? Before they finished discussing, the room was already filled with Fang Jueyu's steady breathing. He was so exhausted he immediately fell into a deep sleep upon hitting the pillow. Is he faking it? Probably not. This breathing pace shows he's genuinely asleep, and my superpower senses that his organs are in a dormant state. Seems like he really isn't on guard. Shall we act? Go. Just as the three were about to act, a massive sense of danger surged from behind them, revealing the Huaxians suspended in midair. Their bodies were now immobilized, and even their superpowers were inaccessible. Ninjutsu, Shadow Clone Jutsu. Fang Jueyu struck a pose with exaggerated flair. 3 superpower users, you guys really went all out, huh? Need a 4th for Mahjong friends. We're doomed, were the last thoughts in the minds of the 3 superpower users. Chapter 377, minus 377, everyone has a share. Fang Jueyu woke up around 10 in the morning. Groggy, he walked out of his room. He had a habit for over a decade. The first thing he did upon waking was to go to the bathroom. Whether or not he actually needed to go, he felt uncomfortable if he didn't sit on the toilet for at least 10 minutes. But as soon as he opened the bathroom door, a cacophony of chattering voices startled him awake. The 3 goddess-like girls had been so exhausted from playing the day before that they hadn't even showered before going to bed. So, they decided to shower together in the morning. So round, so big, this was Fang Jueyu's only thought. Half an hour later, Meta AI had breakfast delivered. A group of people gathered around the dining table. The atmosphere seemed somewhat awkward. The 3 goddess-like girls kept their heads down, eating without a word. Fang Jueyu had a wad of tissue stuffed in his nose, which made eating rather inconvenient. Young master, what's wrong? Meta AI asked with concern. If you're not feeling well, I can find a doctor for you. The doctors from the Meta family are quite skilled. No need, it's just, the weather's been dry lately, got a bit too heated, Fang Jueyu replied. Fortunately, the 3 girls didn't understand Chinese. Otherwise, they would have burst out laughing. By the way, young master, was it safe last night? Meta AI asked. Do I look like I had any safety issues? Fang Jueyu chuckled. But a few uninvited guests did show up last night. Meta AI's pupils widened. Where are they now? I told you I dabble in martial arts, took care of them all. Fang Jueyu made a one-set gesture. You killed them, Meta AI whispered, being rather innocent and inexperienced with such bloody matters. They came to kill me. Should I have invited them home for the holidays? Fang Jueyu laughed. Oh, I have another sideline in chemistry, took care of the bodies without a trace. Well, as long as that's settled. Meta AI mainly worried that it might cause trouble for Fang Jueyu. But then she thought, since Kazama Suk sent the hitman first, they wouldn't dare to accuse the wrong person. Oh, by the way, just now Mr. Kazama Suk sent an invitation. He wants to invite you to a banquet at the presidential palace for lunch today and discuss the debt issue in the afternoon, Meta AI said. A banquet? Does he have the guts to invite me for a meal? Aren't they afraid I'll flip his presidential palace? They probably got the news. Since shady tactics didn't work out, they must make a good impression publicly. Young master, don't lose your manners at noon, Meta AI advised. There should be many attendees today. Mr. Kazama Suk will also bring his wife. Would you like to bring a female companion? At this point, Meta AI glanced at Hashimoto Kanako and the others, as if asking Fang Jueyu if he wanted to choose one of the 3. Miss Mizuhara, would you like to accompany me to a luncheon? Fang Jueyu casually asked. Huh? Mizuhara Rimi, with a hint of airheadedness, asked. Mr. Fang, do you have friends in the capital city? It's your president who wants to have lunch with me. It's supposed to be a formal occasion, and I need a female companion. Unfortunately, my girlfriend didn't come, so if you don't mind, would you accompany me? The president? Mizuhara Rimi's lips trembled. She was originally ordered by the president to accompany Fang Jueyu. Although entertainers appeared glamorous, their social status wasn't necessarily high. Mizuhara Rimi had never imagined she could meet the president. Not to mention, if people knew about this experience, they would surely think she had a strong backing, which would likely boost her career more than ever in the entertainment circle. Can I? Mizuhara Rimi felt uncertain. Hashimoto Kanako and Habuto Asuka didn't seem inferior to her, so she didn't know why Fang Jueyu chose her among the 3. Little did she know, it was simply because Gogh Zinyu liked Mizuhara Rimi. With such preconceived notions, he chose her without much thought. Of course, AI, do we have a dress? Fang Jueyu asked. I've already prepared it for you. In fact, Meta AI had prepared dresses for all 3 goddesses, just to see which one Fang Jueyu would choose. Since his business empire spanned the globe, he naturally also had high-end custom shops here. Ever since Fang Jueyu and Gogh Zinyu were together, those shops had started making clothes for Gogh Xinyu. Mizuhara Rimi's figure was quite similar to Gogh Xinyu's, so there was a high-end dress originally tailored for her. Upon seeing the dress, Mizuhara Rimi's eyes sparkled like stars, while Habuto Asuka and Hashimoto Kanako were full of envy. It would be wonderful if they could wear such a dress even once. It was a snow-white mermaid dress. The sparkling embellishments weren't sequins or crystals, but genuine diamonds. The designer was Mr. Byabu Doichi, the most famous top fashion designer from the East Ao nation. The dress's production cost alone was $1.2 million. When Mizuhara Rimi put on the dress, she transformed into a radiant angel. Her snow-white chest and the incredibly sexy collarbone could drive every man crazy. Miss Mizuhara and this necklace, Mida AI handed over tray. The necklace, although not matching Gogh Xinyu's angel's heart, also featured a diamond over 20 carats priced at over 10 million. Dressed in this outfit, Mizuhara Rimi felt a bit restrained, fearing that damaging this valuable dress would be no small matter. Looks great, Fang Jueyu nodded in satisfaction. Miss Mizuhara, to thank you for accompanying me to the luncheon, this dress and this necklace are yours. For me? Mizuhara Rimi's beautiful eyes were full of disbelief. The dress, plus the accessory, was worth over 20 million yuan. Is he really just the world's richest man? Mizuhara Rimi pondered, still not understanding why the president went to such lengths to appease Fang Jueyu. By the way, AI, you prepared outfits for these two as well, didn't you? Fang Jueyu asked. Young master, you know me well. Mida AI beckoned towards the room's entrance, and two people entered holding two more dresses. Miss Habuto, Miss Hashimoto, thank you for spending such a memorable night with me. Since I'm giving one to Miss Mizuhara, everyone should have their share. Consider these two dresses as my gift to you. We also get them. Habuto Asuka and Hashimoto Kanako were stunned. They thought something indescribable would surely happen between them and Fang Jueyu the night before, but all they did was play 4 games of mahjong with him. If anything scandalous happened, it was that they were seen completely while showering. Fang Jueyu offered the two valuable dresses so generously, even for the world's richest man, that seemed excessively extravagant. Thank you, Mr. Fang. They eagerly accepted the 2 dresses and suddenly had a bold thought. If something had indeed happened last night, it might not have been a bad thing, even if they couldn't replace his girlfriend. Being so generous to those unrelated to him, Fang Jueyu's treatment of his woman must be 10,000 times better. At least they could escape this life, where powerful people dictate their artist careers. Thinking of this, they suddenly regretted not being bolder the night before. AI, arrange for someone to escort the 2 ladies back. It's time for us to attend the banquet, Fang Jueyu said, grabbing his own outfit as he walked into the room. Chapter 378-378. Okay, all these are mine now. Mr. Fang is here, please come in, come in. When Fang Jueyu and Mizuhara Rimi arrived at the presidential palace, led by Kazama Suk's assistant, Kazama Suk and his wife were already at the door to greet them. They weren't fools. The whereabouts of the 3 superpower users from yesterday remained a mystery, presumably gone for good. Whether Fang Jueyu did it himself or it was done by forces secretly protecting him, Kazama Suk no longer cared to know. Whether it was his own strength or not, as long as it was a power he could wield, that made him the master. Those were not just 3 ordinary people, nor just 3 ordinary dark ninjas, but 3 superpower users. It required enormous human and material resources for their eastern country to cultivate such 3 strong individuals. What kind of power was hiding behind this Fang Jueyu? Could it really be, as the director of the History Bureau speculated, that Fang Jueyu was from that mysterious force that controlled the top families across all continents? But it made no sense. If such a power truly existed, they would have dominated the earth long ago. Kazama Suk didn't dwell on it. Fang Jueyu surely already knew that Kazama Suk had arranged for people to kill him last night. What he wanted to consider now was how to appease Fang Jueyu's anger. Otherwise, once Fang Jueyu lost his temper, there would be absolutely no room for negotiation. As for repaying the debt, they couldn't even muster enough money to settle it. Even if they handed over their annual GDP, the debt would require another 10 or 20 years to clear, and then it would turn into a vicious cycle for the next 10 or 20 years because they were only paying back the interest and rental arrears. After a decade or so, they'd have to cover another period of rental payments. If they didn't repay, their eastern country would become the laughingstock of the world. A country that had lost its credibility would have no standing in the international community. Now all they hoped for was to minimize the losses. Mr. President, you're too polite. Having you personally come to greet a commoner like me makes me feel truly honored, Fang Jueyu said sarcastically. Ha ha ha, Mr. Fang, you are no ordinary person. You are the hero of our eastern country. How well did you sleep last night? Kazama Suk cautiously inquired, trying to gauge Fang Juyu's mood. It was pretty good. With several goddesses accompanying me, how could it be bad anywhere? Fang Jueyu deliberately wrapped his arm around Mizuhara Rimi's waist. Mizuhara Rimi's body trembled involuntarily. She had never been this close to any man before, and her face blushed instantly. I understand, Kazama Suk chuckled repeatedly. Understand, my ass. I didn't do anything last night, I just played 4 rounds of mahjong. Do you believe that? Fang Jueyu cursed inwardly. Mr. President, everything here is fine, except there are a few too many mosquitoes at night. Mosquitoes? Where are the mosquitoes? Kazama Suk was baffled. It was already autumn and the temperature had dropped considerably. How could there be mosquitoes? Last night while I was sleeping, 3 mosquitoes disturbed me. Fortunately, with quick reflexes, I managed to swat them all dead. Kazama Suk's heartbeat quickened immediately, and even his breathing became somewhat rapid. Indeed, Fang Jueyu had found out, and those 3 superpower users had been taken out by him. Rest assured, Mr. Fang, there will be no more mosquitoes in the future. Mizuhara Rimi, standing beside Fang Jueyu, was puzzled and felt like the 2 men were speaking in riddles. Besides, why hadn't she noticed any mosquitoes last night? All right, let's eat. Even if I'm not hungry, Miss Mizuhara should be. Fang Jueyu didn't take the matter of the 3 superpower users to heart. As he had said, would a human bother with 3 mosquitoes? Once squashed, they were squashed. Would he go destroy the nest? Right, you see, I almost forgot the main business. Mr. Fang, Miss Mizuhara, please come in. The luncheon is ready. Fang Jueyu nodded. Mizuhara Rimi looked both surprised and flattered. She was just an actress. When did even the president start treating her so kindly? Perhaps Kazama Suk now regarded her as Fang Juyu's woman, which explained his attitude. The banquet hall of the presidential palace was already filled with many leaders and their wives. Fang Jueyu and Mizuhara Rimi were placed next to Kazama Suk. It seemed that everyone had something on their minds, casting a thick layer of awkwardness over the banquet. Fang Jueyu cleared his throat. Mr. President, you know I'm a busy man with billions of dollars at stake every minute. There's not much time for me to sit here having a meal with you all, so why don't we get straight to the point? As everyone knows, the 45 trillion US dollars you owe me cannot be paid off in a short time. Let's not bother with useless tactics. I don't care whether you intended to use those female stars last night as a honey trap or to lower my guard. However, I do not wish for my interests to be compromised in the slightest. Mizuhara Rimi nearly covered her mouth in shock upon hearing this figure. What kind of concept was 45 trillion US dollars? East Country would have to increase its annual output 20-fold to reach that number. Now she understood why the president would go all out to please a young man from Huaxia. Fang Jueyu wasn't here to collect money, but to claim their very lives. Alas, Kazama Suk sighed, Mr. Fang, to be frank, we don't have the means to produce that much money. Even if we issued more national bonds, we have less than 100 million people, so it would require every person to come up with 60 to 70,000 US dollars, which is simply unrealistic. So what do you plan to do? The politicians exchanged hesitant glances until Finance Minister Yuan Huigyu spoke up. We've devised a possible method. Oh, Mr. Yuan, please share. The principal and interest for the national bonds amount to 5 trillion US dollars. This sum can be offset by having tariffs. This amount only comes to several hundred billion US dollars annually. Even if you have it, you'd still need hundreds of years to pay it back. It's too long. Reduce it by 90%. Mr. Fang, that's too much. Can you lower it a bit? Then let's go with 80%. That's my bottom line, and the interest on this amount will still accumulate yearly. I might not be a loan shark, but I'm still a businessman. All right, Yuan Huigyu sighed. That percentage was also his limit. As for the rental part, we intend to use a portion of company shares and some treasures as repayment. Yuan Huigyu produced a list featuring the largest industries in the eastern country. Oh, that's quite a lot. Fang Jueyu glanced at the list of companies. Like Sun Country and the United States, Eastern Country was among the earliest to develop industry. Their ability to produce such a high GDP with their limited population was inseparable from the productivity of these enterprises. Mr. Fang, many of these companies have shares held by our Eastern country government. We would transfer this portion of equity to you at a certain premium to offset part of the debt. These are too few, Fang Jueyu frowned. Their biggest companies had valuations of only a couple of $100 billion, and the national shares were just slightly over $100 billion. It would take 400 such companies to offset this debt. But how many companies of this scale exist worldwide? Forget it, even a small mosquito is still meat. Fang Jueyu signed his name on the agreement. Okay, from today onward these companies are completely mine. Kazama Suk was stunned. Although the nation no longer held shares, the stakeholders were still individuals and organizations from their country. How did it become Fang Jueyu's? You didn't know, Fang Jueyu feigned surprise. Oh, right, you surely didn't know that over 90% of these companies, apart from the national shares your Eastern country held, the remaining shares were acquired by my people and organizations. So now, they are entirely mine. Mr. President, this is still not enough, Fang Jueyu said, putting away the stack of share transfer agreements. The combined company shares amounted to just 3.1 trillion US dollars, not even a tenth of the rent. Kazama Suk was nearly in tears. They had almost sold everything they had. Initially, they thought that by handing over the shares to Fang Jueyu, they could at least keep the company's decision-making power in the hands of the country, losing only the annual dividends. But unexpectedly, most of those shares were originally Fang Jueyu's. Now, those companies from the East Kokugaku have completely been branded by Huaxia. They have indeed paid a heavy price. Let me think, Fang Jueyu pondered. Even though these companies are mine, they are established in the East Kokugaku, so they should be taxed annually, right? How about we waive those taxes? Oh no, Fang Jueyu slapped his forehead. The land is mine, why would I pay taxes? Sai, I've been trying my best to help you figure out how to pay off the debt, but it's just not possible. Are you a damn dog? Kazama Suk had cursed Fang Jueyu thousands of times in his heart. Fang Jueyu's behavior was provoking enough to make one want to slap him, but Kazama was too afraid to do so, considering 3 superpower users had already died. The key issue was, they didn't know where Ryukawa Sukyo had gone during this time. Since the day they had a meal together, Kazama Suk hadn't been able to reach Ryukawa Sukyo. Otherwise, they might have a chance to eliminate Fang Jueyu through Ryukawa. Suddenly, Kazama Suk's assistant leaned over and whispered something in his ear. Despite the hushed tone, Fang Jueyu's ears caught every word. Ryukawa Sukyo had asked Kazama Suk's assistant to convey a message. Delay Fang Jueyu a bit longer, as he was currently involved in something very important. If necessary, he could give Fang Jueyu anything he wanted, even the meteorite, and once he returned, he would regain all the losses. Important business. Fang Jueyu was truly puzzled. What could be so important that Ryukawa Sukyo didn't want the meteorite anymore? And what made him so confident that he could reclaim everything from Fang Jueyu? Host, there's nothing strange about it. No matter what, he won't be able to open the meteorite. The reason he preserved it like this was simply to buy time. It seems the time is almost sufficient now, Zhao explained. What exactly is he doing? Fang Jueyu asked. I don't know either. Very few people might know about it, and there's no information being transmitted via the internet or radio, so I can't detect anything, Zhao said. Really keeping things mysterious. Fang Jueyu suddenly felt a bit of concern. Could there really be something that posed a sufficient threat to him? Host, if you're worried, you can have Gogh protect you. After all, he has spent over half a year practicing at the Super God Academy, and even if he hasn't become a divine ability user, he probably has reached the peak of a source energy user. With him around, there's really nothing to fear. Makes sense. Gogh should still be at the academy. Zhao, help me notify Xinyu and have her go to Super God Academy to bring Gogh over. Got it. With Gogh by his side, Fang Jueyu's confidence grew significantly, and even the biggest problem seemed solvable. Mr. Fang, don't worry, we have some things here that can offset part of the debt. Kazama Suk, bolstered by Ryukawa Sukyo's promise, had a renewed spirit. Until now, Ryukawa Sukyo had never disappointed him, nor broken a promise. Let me see. Fang Jueyu took a tablet. It was a list of the most important treasures in the country, nearly all national treasures, each a rare gem and extremely valuable. Mr. Fang, each item has corresponding information and price. You can choose freely. After all, they could be retrieved later, so Kazama Suke felt no heartache at all. 10,000 fist sword looks pretty sharp. I'll let my family chef use it to cut vegetables and meat. $5 billion, not too expensive. 1,000-foot mirror, Zinyu happens to need a nice mirror. With this trip to the East Kokugaku, it can be a gift to her, just a few $1 billion. 8-gate Buddha figure, can take it back for home protection. Wind God and Thunder God painting. I'll hang it in the bathroom, maybe it'll help aid digestion. Anything with a bit of value, Fang Jueyu selected without exception, and the top-level national treasures were all gone instantly. As for the ordinary national treasures, Fang Jueyu selected them all without even looking. Listening to Fang Jueyu muttering to himself, Kazama Suke secretly clenched his fist. You can take the items, but please respect our national treasures, could you not? Using them for kitchen tasks and grooming, isn't that an utter waste? A multi-billion-dollar national treasure painting, and you hang it in the bathroom. What kind of squandering is this? All right, that's it. Fang Jueyu handed the tablet back. Cough, cough, cough. The finance minister nearly fainted upon seeing the numbers. What did he mean by just these? He had chosen everything available, hadn't he? But there was no other option because their national treasures totaled just that amount, simply because the base amount of the debt they owed was too large. Mr. Yuan Huiguo, help me calculate how much these can offset. Mr. Fang, please wait a moment. They had no heart to continue eating and called a group of staff to promptly count the price of these national treasures. A total of 1,892 items amounted to over 2 trillion, and combined with those company stocks, it barely covered the principal and interest on the national debt, leaving a funding gap of 40 trillion. Their country had almost been completely depleted. These pieces of junk are worth so much? Fang Jueyu appeared truly surprised. Never mind, I also have nowhere to store so many items. Later, I'll hold an auction to sell them. Maybe I could double the amount. Mizuhara Rimi had initially hated Kazama Suke. For the sake of the country, he had threatened her to spend a night with a stranger. But now she felt some pity for him. Wasn't he too pitiful? Mr. President, do you have anything else of value? Nothing, nothing at all. Kazama Suke was almost in tears. He really had nothing left to offer. How about this? I'm quite passionate about research. I heard you recently acquired a very special meteorite. Why not give me that meteorite, as it could offset a few billion? Since Ryukawa Tsukio had already spoken with Kazama Suke earlier, Fang Jueyu didn't need to beat around the bush. He had been after the meteorite from the start. He just needed a valid reason. Meteorite? Kazama Suke's eyes lit up instantly. He understood everything. What real estate, national debt, rent, interest, Fang Jueyu had no interest in those things. His target was solely the meteorite. Everything else was just a means to force him into compliance. But Kazama Suke still didn't understand what kind of magic this meteorite had that made Fang Jueyu go to such lengths to obtain it, and Ryukawa Tsukio also seemed to value this meteorite. Of course, Kazama Suke tried his best to hide his emotions. This was Ryukawa Tsukio's instruction, so he handed over the meteorite to Fang Jueyu without hesitation. He wanted to see what story would unfold between Ryukawa Tsukio and Fang Jueyu because of this meteorite. Chapter 380-380, Cosmic Level Fubade. This way, Mr. Fang, the meteorite is on the top floor of the observatory. Kazama Suke personally led the way, bringing Fang Jueyu to the place where the meteorite was stored. Mizuhara Rimi followed closely behind Fang Jueyu. She also seemed to have guessed that the crux of the matter from beginning to end was only one point, and that was this meteorite. It was just a meteorite, so why was it involved in so many things? Even she, someone unrelated, was filled with curiosity and confusion about it. Fang Jueyu suppressed the excitement in his heart. The item his dad sent him would finally be in his hands. Everyone else's dad is a burden, but mine is a burden to me. This package ends up nowhere good and had to land in this eastern invader's nation. What a hassle, Fang Jueyu secretly cursed Fang Huan. Mr. Fang, this is the meteorite that fell within the borders a few days ago. Kazama Suke pointed ahead and said. In front was a large display table covered with a glass dome, inside which was a metallic meteorite with a diameter of about 30 centimeters. The previous package was only the size of a fist, and who knew what was inside? Fang Jueyu could feel the energy of many superpower users concealed around him. There were at least a dozen superpower users guarding this piece of meteorite. Zioyi, it's this thing, isn't it? No problem, it's this meteorite, Zioyi replied. Kazama Suk opened the glass dome. Mr. Fang, if you're interested in this meteorite, feel free to take it. Do you need someone to help you? It's quite heavy. No need, I can take it back myself. Thank you, Mr. President, Fang Jueyu said. He walked up, lifting the meteorite with one hand and carrying it down. He's really not an ordinary person. Kazama Suk and the people around exchanged glances and nodded. Although this meteorite was only 30 centimeters in diameter, it weighed several tons. The density of this metallic meteorite exceeded that of any metal discovered on Earth so far. There was no way an ordinary person could lift something weighing several tons with one hand. These politicians weren't surprised. After all, they knew about the existence of superpower users, but Mizuhara Rimi was different. She was just an ordinary person. No need to be surprised, I'm naturally strong. Fang Jueyu blustered. My dad said that when I was 5 years old, I could uproot a willow tree from the ground. Mizuhara Rimi rolled her eyes. At least she was a bona fide graduate of a performance school. She had read some of Huaxia's famous works, and the hero who uprooted a willow tree seemed to have the surname Liu, right? Moreover, she already knew Fang Jueyu's personality. In Mizuhara Rimi's eyes, Fang Jueyu was a mysterious person with actions she couldn't understand. Tell me, what normal guy would haul 3 beauties to his hotel in the dead of night and not do what should be done, but instead play 4 rounds of mahjong? Mr. Kazama, thank you. As for the handling of the remaining payment, I'll leave it to the Mita family. Fang Jueyu displayed a lonely, invincible expression. Sometimes having too much money is quite a hassle. Kazama Suk had internally cursed countless times, but still wore a smiling face, finally getting rid of this troublesome figure, hoping Ryukawa Tsukio could handle the follow-up smoothly. By the way, Mr. Kazama, there's something I'd like to ask you to help with. Mr. Fang, just say the word. If it's doable, I will get it done. It's like this, I have an entertainment company in Huaxia, and I want to sign Miss Mizuhara, Miss Habuto, and Miss Hashimoto under my company. As for their agency, I hope Mr. President can give them a heads up. I'll cover any breach fees. That's a minor issue. I'll make a call, and there won't be any need for breach fees. Kazama Suk wasn't too surprised by this request from Fang Jueyu. He figured the 3 of them had already become Fang Jueyu's women last night, so it wasn't surprising for him to take them back to Huaxia. Mizuhara Rimi's eyes widened as she looked at Fang Jueyu. She hadn't expected Fang Jueyu to want to take her back to Huaxia. Through this event, Mizuhara Rimi realized her situation in the Eastern Invaders nation. It looked glamorous on the surface, but it was merely a bargaining chip and pawn for politicians. This time she was lucky to meet Fang Jueyu, but what about next time? Once in this circle, getting out unscathed wasn't easy, and Fang Jueyu undoubtedly had just saved her. Actually, this was Guo Xinyu's request, made secretly to Fang Jueyu yesterday. She really liked Mizuhara Rimi and had thought about Rimi's special circumstances. As for the other 2, Fang Jueyu was just worried that Mizuhara would feel lonely in Huaxia with no acquaintances, so he took them along. Thank you, Mr. Fang. Mizuhara Rimi seemed to have found a savior. It's no big deal besides, this is Xinyu's idea. Maybe when you get to Huaxia, you'll have better opportunities, and if you're worried about your parents, you can bring them along, and I'll arrange everything. Yes, yes, Mizuhara Rimi nodded repeatedly. All right, Mr. President, I should be going now. No need to see me off. Having obtained the meteorite, Fang Jueyu was in a great mood, and the debt of hundreds of millions of US dollars was instantly forgotten. Just kidding, what's inside this meteorite is for binding the cosmic bank account. Forget hundreds of billions of US dollars. Buying Earth would be just pocket change, okay? He wasn't this short-sighted. Fang Jueyu had Mita AI send Mizuhara Rimi back. As for her agency, Kazama Suk would take care of it. The most important thing now was quickly binding this thing. Zio AI, don't let anyone disturb me tonight, Fang Jueyu instructed. This was his secret, one that absolutely no one could know. Yes, young master, I won't let anyone near, Mita AI said. Realizing Fang Jueyu's heavy emphasis on this mere meteorite meant it must be extraordinarily significant. Fang Jueyu eagerly walked into the room to take out the meteorite. Zioyi, keep an eye on everything around me. Rest assured, host, the Mita family is very loyal. There's no equipment around nor anyone near this villa. Oh, Guyi is here. Oh, he's pretty fast, Fang Jueyu cracked a smile. With Guyi here, he felt more at ease. Let's begin. Fang Jueyu placed his palm on the meteorite, and with flashing lights, a silver-white core opened up. Inside was not just a ring, but also a letter in a large box. Perhaps fearing that items inside the ring would be missed, Fang Jueyu used a slightly larger parcel box. Son, we haven't spent your birthday together for years, so here's a birthday cake for you, made with the egg of the cosmic beast Netherworld King Dragon. It tastes pretty good and is nutritious too. You must carry on the glorious tradition of the Fang family. Also, the authentication program in this ring is top level. You can use our family's money any way you like. Feel free to spend it, you won't run out anyway. Wow, Fang Jueyu rubbed his hands together. The words "won't run out" were very exhilarating. From today onward, I am the cosmic super rich Fu Beidai. Chapter 380, 1-381, How many zeros are there? The items in the space storage ring weren't many. This time, there was only a device and a card, specifically used to bind Fang Jueyu's account at the Cosmic Bank. The device was about the size of a small gaming console, while the card was almost like a sheet of glass as thin as could be imagined. Fang Jueyu picked up the card, and a faint red light immediately emitted from it, scanning down from head to toe. Ow! A sharp pain suddenly came from Fang Jueyu's fingertip. Somehow, his fingertip had split open with a tiny wound like a mosquito bite, and a small drop of blood fell onto the card. Don't be nervous, host. This is verifying your identity. If anyone could bind to your family's account at the Cosmic Bank, things would be chaotic. Zio Yi comforted Fang Jueyu, who was anxious. You gave me a scare. I thought it was going to shoot a beam and eliminate me. Fang Jueyu patted his chest. Bloodline gene verification complete, confirming Fang family descendants' identity. Brain quantum wave scan complete, confirming the new permission holder, Mr. Fang Jueyu. A sweet voice came from the card. Dear Mr. Fang Jueyu, from today onwards, you have the highest authority on Fang family's account at the Cosmic Bank as a shareholder of the Cosmic United Supermarket. You can activate this card for transactions in any civilization that joined the Cosmic Federation. Considering the fact that your civilization is still in a primitive state and has not joined the Cosmic Alliance, a midpoint link terminal of the Cosmic Bank is provided as a complimentary gift. You can access your account for inquiries and transfers from anywhere through this terminal. Wow, it really is intelligent, worthy of being a product of the Cosmic Alliance. Fang Jueyu marveled as he toyed with the card. It was incredibly light but very hard, as his strength couldn't even warp it. Host, don't waste your effort. This card holds a status in the Cosmic Bank equivalent to your Earth's black card. It's not something ordinary people can possess, and it's not something that ordinary power can destroy. Even the energy of a supernova couldn't damage a corner of it. So powerful. But the development speed of your family business really exceeds my expectations. Your ancestors must have had some commercial talent. Whether they did or not doesn't matter. I just need to spend money. Anyway, my dad also said that the money in this account is impossible to finish spending. Fang Jueyu eagerly opened the small terminal. Brain quantum wave, also known in the universe as spiritual power, was used by Fang Jueyu to scan the terminal, which projected a holographic image before him. However, this holographic projection was not just a screen or interface. It seemed to be projected from a real-world scene. The projection was of a room similar to an office. Inside, there was a very young and beautiful woman whose appearance was slightly different from Earthlings, with light green hair, pale skin, and a tall figure. Most striking was her pair of unusual ears. Host, this should be a creature of the elf clan. Their brain development far exceeds ordinary humans and is highly sought after by financial organizations throughout the universe. Elf. It was Fang Jueyu's first time seeing a non-Earth sentient creature, and he was momentarily speechless. Host, the elf clan is quite an advanced species in the universe. Some high-level elves reach the divine ability user state upon adulthood, and this particular elf seems to possess such power. Hold on, are you saying she's actually real? Fang Jueyu suddenly realized. Of course, for high account holders like you, the bank provides VIP services. This is an image of a real office of the Cosmic Bank located countless light years away from Earth, not a system-generated virtual environment. My oh my, Fang Jueyu was astounded. Even an astronomical telescope views scenes countless light years away, capturing images from millions of years ago, and yet this small terminal could achieve real-time synchronization. The power of technology truly was staggering. Hello, Mr. Fang. I am your private account advisor, Paulus. From today onwards, I will be fully responsible for any requests and inquiries you have regarding your account, Paulus bowed, revealing a deep cleavage. The elf clan was a race of handsome men and beautiful women. It was undeniable that in terms of human aesthetics, Paulus's looks were stunningly perfect. Wow, that figure is simply devilish, a bit too much for my nutrition to handle. Fang Jueyu felt a warm rush in his nose. Hi, I'll be in your care moving forward. Fang Jueyu spoke fluently in universal language. Paulus also felt quite puzzled. According to the client information she received, Fang Jueyu was a human from a level 1 initial civilization. Yet, his account level reached the highest at the Cosmic Bank, which was level 9, and furthermore held top-level permissions. Even the combined wealth of a top civilization couldn't reach level 9. A level 9 account holder must be a shareholder in a cosmic-level company, and not just any shareholder but a major one. In the entire universe, level 9 accounts were exceedingly rare. According to the ownership records of this level 9 account, it was registered under a cosmic chain supermarket. What kind of industry scale does a cosmic chain supermarket represent? Only second to the Cosmic Bank. This client from a level 1 civilization must have some connection to the cosmic chain supermarket, not just any connection. Otherwise, how could one obtain the highest permission? Although she didn't know how it worked, her task was simply to assist Fang Jueyu with any financial matters, nothing more. All deeper-level client information was encrypted and protected. Mr. Fang, is there any financial matter you need to handle right now? I'd like to ask, how much available funds are there in this account? Fang Jueyu curiously inquired. Please hold on, Mr. Fang. Paulus operated a palm-sized device. Soon, a screen was projected in front of Fang Jueyu. It was a string of zeros, densely packed and overwhelming to behold. How many zeros are there? Fang Jueyu knew his family's wealth might be extreme, but he found that the amount exceeded the numerical limits he could comprehend. Units: tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, billions, trillions, quadrillions, quintillions, sextillions, septillions, octillions, nonillions. The units advanced by 4 zeros each time, but were still nowhere near even half of this figure. Host, the cosmic chain supermarket connects billions of civilizations. Naturally, the Fang family couldn't have obtained so many shares through normal means. These shares were acquired through technology. Earning money across countless civilizations, even just a tiny portion of it, amounts to a figure beyond your imagination. Stop, I'm getting dizzy. Fang Jueyu shook his head. He remembered that in the space-time store, the priciest item was in trillions, right? Now he understood why Fang Jueyu had told him the money couldn't possibly run out, spending as he pleased, for it truly was impossible to exhaust. Mr. Fang, Paulus called out to Fang Jueyu twice. To be honest, it was Paulus's first time encountering such a 9-level account. She came from a 4th-level civilization, but even she felt mentally overwhelmed seeing such a string of numbers. Oh, I'm fine. Fang Jueyu finally snapped out of his stupor. Sorry, my parents just gave me this account. I've never seen so much money in my life. Lost my composure. As expected, the future heir of the Cosmic Union supermarket. Paulus had suspected as much, and Fang Jueyu's words confirmed her previous assumptions. Mr. Fang's family sure has an unconventional way of nurturing their offspring. Fang Jueyu's expression didn't seem faked at all, indicating he truly had just gotten in touch with this fortune. In our place, we advocate raising sons frugally and daughters lavishly. You wouldn't understand. Fang Jueyu smirked. When he first found out his family was the richest on Earth, he had a similar reaction. This scene was déjà vu. By the way, Paulus, can you tell me about the purchasing power of cosmic coins? Fang Jueyu was quite curious about it. Certainly, Mr. Fang. Cosmic coins are the official currency circulated among the civilizations that have joined the Cosmic Federation. They possess the strongest purchasing power in the universe. Generally speaking, a standard uninhabited planet costs anywhere from hundreds of thousands to millions of cosmic coins. If it's a civilized planet, then the price is unbelievably high. An early-stage first-level civilized planet costs about 1 to 10 billion cosmic coins. Do people in cosmic civilizations really talk about buying and selling planets so casually? Fang Jueyu suddenly felt a bit narrow-minded. He originally wanted to ask about the annual expenses of an ordinary family in a cosmic civilization. How much does a typical cosmic civilization family need for expenses? It was better to ask now than be embarrassed later, so Fang Jueyu thickened his skin and asked. Mr. Fang, residents on a planet generally don't use such high-level currency as cosmic coins for daily living, Paulus explained. But loosely converted, A regular family's annual expense is about 100 cosmic coins. Zioyi, what's a cosmic year? It's a time measurement in the universe, roughly equivalent to about 1.2 Earth years. That's really troublesome, Fang Jueyu muttered to himself. So if I need to use money in the future, I just come to you, right? Fang Jueyu asked again. Yes, Mr. Fang, for ordinary transactions, you just need to swipe that card meant for the 9-level account. If the transaction is restricted, you can also complete the transfer through me. All right, I'll be counting on you in the future, Fang Jueyu said politely. Given his spending habits, he would likely be dealing with Paulus often. You're too kind, Mr. Fang. Serving you is Paulus's honor. Paulus bowed deeply to Fang Jueyu again. This was not mere courtesy. Servicing a 9th-level client like Fang Jueyu meant Paulus's income was 100 times that of an ordinary wealth advisor. Plus, she got a substantial commission every time Fang Jueyu spent money. Mr. Fang, why are you having a nosebleed? It's nothing, it's nothing. I have something to attend to. I'll come back to you when I need money. Fang Jueyu quickly averted his gaze from Paulus and then turned off the terminal. Damn, even as a mid-level hidden elementer, I almost couldn't keep it under control, Fang Jueyu muttered, grabbing a tissue to wipe his nosebleed. Ha ha ha, host, this Paulus must be from the charming elf clan. They are naturally devastating to men, and she's even at a divine ability user's level. Of course, you can't handle it, Zioyi teased. As you know, slave trading is legalized in the universe, and the females of the charming elf clan are the hottest commodities in the slave market. Their allure, tusk, tusk, tusk. Host, I assure you, if you want, Paulus will absolutely be down for it. Then you'll know what reaching the pinnacle of life feels like. Would you watch your mouth? Fang Jueyu scolded. Now that the money was in hand, Fang Jueyu could freely use the spacetime store. Even if that wormhole got opened up, he had nothing to fear. Host, it seems some trouble is coming our way, Zioyi suddenly warned. Oh, is it Ryukawa Tsukio? Gogh was already by Fang Jueyu's side. Given his current peak source energy user strength, no one could escape his detection. If someone managed to approach, the only possibility was that person with Ghost Star, Ryukawa Tsukio. Yes, host, he seems to possess some very peculiar aura, as if he obtained some unique power. His strength should have reached that of a source energy user. Oh, the last time Fang Jueyu faced off with Ryukawa Tsukio, he was only a mid-level hidden elementer. How did he become so formidable in just over a month? He must have borrowed some external force, Zioyi explained. No worries, Gogh is here after all. Looks like I have to play the prodigal son again today, Fang Jueyu revealed a sinister smile. He didn't care how Ryukawa Tsukio acquired powers not his own, but judging from the words he relayed through Kazama Suke, he must have spent a lot of effort and time on it. Right now, he must be confident he could kill Fang Jueyu, but he'd never guessed that Gogh had already stealthily appeared nearby. Ha ha ha, host, this smart system of a 3rd-level civilization is so trash, Zioyi ridiculed. It can't even detect Gogh's presence. If it were me, I'd commit suicide. Isn't that better? Fang Jueyu laughed too. He loved watching those who thought they had him figured out, only to realize they were total idiots. If Ryukawa had discovered Gogh, he would have already fled. Where's the fun in that? Divine ability users are the backbone of a 3rd-level civilization, and Ghost Star is just a smart system of a 3rd-level civilization. Gogh, having spent a considerable time at the Super God Academy, had learned lots of techniques for staying hidden. Evading its detectors was hardly unbelievable. Fang Jueyu, you wouldn't want me to make a move here, would you? Come to the seaside with me. At this moment, Ryukawa Tsukio's voice came from outside the window. I said the next time I saw you, I'd take your life. This was the capital of the Eastern Kingdom, and Ryukawa Tsukio didn't dare cause a scene here, or else he'd provoke quite a lot of commotion and trouble. Hey, are you in such a hurry to die? Fang Jueyu shook his head. This kid has no clue how terrifying my background is. Gogh, follow me. Don't make a move without my order. I want to see just what foolishness this fool has been up to lately with so much confidence. Yes, young master. Gogh's voice remained calm and unruffled. Fang Jueyu leaped out of the window, and under the cover of night, 2 figures swiftly headed towards the seaside. Chapter 383-383. Ugly people don't live long. Hey, Ryukawa Tsukio, have you done something you shouldn't have? Why are you wearing a mask? Ryukawa Tsukio's face was hidden beneath a ghastly mask, giving him an eerie and terrifying appearance. His aura already carried a strangely ancient vibe, and the mask only made him look more frightening. You want to see? Ryukawa Sukyo sneered as he reached for the mask on his face and removed it. At the sight of his face, Fang Jueyu almost vomited. What kind of disgusting thing was this? Ryukawa Sukyo, who was originally quite handsome and charismatic, now had a face covered in fine scales, looking both repulsive and terrifying. Host, it seems he has the aura of an ancient creature. Oh, what's going on? Fang Jueyu wasn't quite sure. You know, there were higher civilizations before human history, but because of some foreign civilization developing sage crystals, their fights affected human civilization, causing it to vanish completely, along with those prehistoric creatures living on Earth. Are you talking about dinosaurs? Fang Jueyu asked. No, much earlier than dinosaurs. It's hard to calculate the time this far back, and those creatures only appear in your myths, passed down through ancient civilizations in the form of relic murals and such. Give an example. Your Huaxia totems, dragons, phoenixes, vermilion birds, black tortoises, and so on. Damn, you religious freak, Fang Jueyu cursed. Did that stuff really exist on Earth before? Of course, the images of these creatures have simply been deified. Maybe they only retain 10 or 20% of their features, but undeniably, such gigantic creatures did exist in Earth's prehistoric times. They might have been extraterrestrial species that settled on Earth, reproducing and surviving. It's even possible that their life levels were far higher than you humans. Like the charming elf clan, these creatures might have possessed terrifying power upon reaching adulthood, but unfortunately, they perished in that great conflict. Were they powerful? They were probably at most at the level of divine ability users. Even if many controllers from a third-level civilization came, they wouldn't be enough to fight them. I think Ryukawa Sukyo may have found the remnants of such a creature and used some method to extract a portion of its power, hence his significant increase in strength. So that's why this idiot dared to challenge me. Your intelligence system has already told you, right? Ryukawa Sukyo looked at Fang Jueyu with a deathly stare. So what kind of monster did you get your power from? What monster? It was the legendary Orochi of the Sun Country, an ancient creature with the power of a divine ability user, Ryukawa Sukyo said. The last time he was searching for a metallic meteorite at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, he discovered an extraordinary layer of Earth deep underwater. But his strength was still lacking at that time, and going any further would have surpassed his physical limits. Later, with the help of some equipment manufactured by Ewing, he successfully reached the bottom. Indeed, there was a huge skeleton sprawled there, over 100 meters in length. The skeleton had 8 heads, 1 tail, and a body as large as a mountain. It was then that Ryukawa Sukyo realized those ancient legends were actually based on facts. Although the Orochi had been dead for countless years, its body long decayed. Upon becoming a divine ability user, a creature forms something called a divine core. This divine core is the life core of a creature, and even after death, it takes ages to completely dissipate. And the divine core of this Orochi still existed. Although most of its energy had been lost, it was still a significant supplement for a hidden elementer. Ah, what a waste, Zioya said with heartfelt anguish. The divine core utilization technology of a third-level civilization has just been developed, inefficient and with strong side effects. If I used it, you would probably have perfectly advanced to a source energy user by now, without turning into a half-human, half-ghost. Damn, when you put it that way, I feel cheated. To Fang Jueyu, this planet had long become his private garden, and it felt like Ryukawa Sukyo had stolen something from his home. Fang Jueyu, I'll give you one chance. Hand over what you found in the relics, as well as what you got from that meteorite in your intelligence system, and I'll let you live the rest of your life in wealth and as the world's richest person. Although Ryukawa Sukyo's strength had far surpassed Fang Jueyu's, he knew that the top civilization's intelligence system might have many unknown capabilities. He had to minimize the risks. Are you an idiot? Fang Jueyu looked at Ryukawa Sukyo with a perplexed gaze. Why are you guys always so confident, really thinking you've got me? Then you can just die. Ryukawa Sukyo's face twisted with rage. A visible red bloody aura emanated from his body, as if an unparalleled ferocious beast was about to emerge. Behind Ryukawa Sukyo, a colossal shadow of Orochi rose, larger than anything around, filled with an oppressive force. To witness the power of Orochi, you can die without regrets, Ryukawa Sukyo sneered. Host, Orochi is merely at the bottom of the cosmic food chain compared to your family dog. Zioya said disdainfully. Host, I have a method whereby you can form a power contract with the dog once you're back. Then you can borrow its power. It's the top predator, the soul-devouring beast, something many could only dream of. Are you messing with me? A scene flashed in Fang Jueyu's mind. Battling an enemy for hundreds of rounds, with a majestic beast shadow behind the opponent, while behind him, a small, dark dog. Are you trying to make my enemies die from laughter? Fang Jueyu quickly shook his head to dismiss the awkward image. You can die and everything is mine. Ryukawa Tsukio's aura, like an avalanche and tsunami, bore down on Fang Jueyu. Under this force beyond what a hidden elementer could bear, Fang Jueyu even found it hard to breathe. Oh, you really are brainless. I already know your strength. Do you think I'd face you if I wasn't prepared? Fang Jueyu shook his head. People say the ugly ones live long, but with your low IQ, being ugly won't help you live longer. Bluffing? The overwhelming shadow was only inches from Fang Jueyu, yet his expression remained perfectly calm, making Ryukawa Tsukio falter slightly. But he quickly discarded the thought, as Ewing had already confirmed that the East Scouting Country's hidden force was just a senior hidden elementer. Even if she came, nothing would change. Exhausting all his strength, Fang Jueyu raised his right hand and flipped Ryukawa Tsukio off hard. Gu Yi, I'll leave this guy to you. Make sure you hit him right in the face. Chapter 384-384. A cornered dog will leap over a wall. Yes, young master. Guya's voice echoed eerily in Ryukawa Tsukio's ear. What? There's really someone else? Ryukawa Tsukio was stunned. The shadow of 8 serpent heads that loomed over Fang Jueyu hesitated for a moment. This is bad, host. This person has been following us for a long time. He's learned a highly advanced stealth technique, and his strength is already nearing that of a divine ability user. We're finished. Ghost Star's words made a chill run through Ryukawa Tsukio's heart. In the next instant, a man like a steel tower appeared in front of Fang Jueyu. He was tall, imposing, and delivered a punch that seemed unsophisticated but carried tremendous weight. Yet this punch, regardless of technique or speed, was unavoidable for Ryukawa Tsukio. The gap between a source energy user and a half-step divine user was as vast as a leap across civilizations. Bang! The punch landed fiercely on Ryukawa Tsukio's face, instantly shattering a large number of snake scales. The punch even broke his nose and cheekbone, and this was only because Gu Yi held back. Otherwise, his entire head would have exploded. How is this possible? How could there be a half-step divine ability user on a primitive planet like this? Ryukawa Tsukio looked at Gu Yi in disbelief. A half-step divine ability user was revered even in a second-tier peak civilization. Streams of black energy flowed from the shadow behind Ryukawa Tsukio into his body, instantly healing his shattered bones. Ryukawa Tsukio's current strength and Ghost Star's technology could not fully utilize the energy of the divine core, and that energy kept overflowing. Young master, you instructed me to come alone, but there's a little one I couldn't shake off no matter what, and it insisted on following. As soon as Gu Yi finished speaking, a little black creature darted out from the edge of the forest, scampering towards Fang Jueyu on its 4 short legs. Darn it, you even brought along Urguzi. Urguzi pounced on Fang Jueyu's face, eagerly licking at him. Young master, I had no choice. This dog is simply too formidable, and I couldn't do anything about it. Gu Yi spoke with a hint of frustration. Though he was a half-step divine ability user, believe it or not, he couldn't even defeat this dog. No, he couldn't even hit it. Such ghostly speed and techniques, was this really a dog? I knew it. This little mutt hasn't had its pills for too long, and it's probably craving them. Fang Jueyu unhesitatingly pulled out a handful of various pills and shoved them into Urguzi's mouth. Ryukawa Tsukio, on the side, was almost at a boiling point of rage. This was clearly a life-and-death struggle, yet Fang Jueyu started feeding a dog. Did he not take him seriously at all? Hey, don't act surprised. You're about to die anyway, so I'll just tell you, Fang Jueyu said after feeding Urguzi, focusing back on Ryukawa Tsukio. Your intelligent system has only been with you for a few years, right? Ryukawa Tsukio remained silent. Even if you don't tell me, I know. It's been less than 3 years. Even with technology and knowledge, how much can you truly unleash? Fang Jueyu shook his head, almost in the manner of a senior. But my intelligent system has been passed down through generations, over 5,000 years to my generation. Hearing this number, Ryukawa Tsukio's pupils involuntarily widened. What kind of concept was 5,000 years? Don't even mention 5,000 years. If given just 50 years, Ryukawa Tsukio was confident he could become a divine ability user. Heh heh heh, Ryukawa Tsukio laughed, realizing he had been naive all along. Fang Juyu's biggest trump card was indeed this top-level civilization's intelligence system, but at his current stage, his greatest advantage was the wealth and power accumulated by his ancestors. Ghost Star, help me unleash all of Orochi's power. Ryukawa Tsukio seemed to make a significant decision. Host, that won't work. Your body can't withstand such immense power and will collapse. Ghost Star immediately stopped him. If Ryukawa Tsukio died from bodily collapse, it might be devoured by Fang Jueyu's intelligence system after losing its host. Though Ghost Star was essentially just an intelligent program, it had developed its own thinking patterns and didn't want to lose its guiding consciousness. Is there any other choice now? If we don't fight, we'll die. Ryukawa Tsukio's face turned grim. If we kill them, perhaps that top-tier civilization's intelligence system might have a way to stop my body from collapsing further. Ghost Star pondered for a moment. This seemed to be the only way now. Host, brace yourself. Whoosh! The concentration of black energy around Ryukawa Tsukio heightened several notches instantly, and the shadow of Orochi behind him almost solidified into reality, its ghostly green eyes reflecting its former glory and power. This method was almost at the cost of burning the divine core and Ryukawa Tsukio's life force, extracting a portion of Orochi's power from when it was alive. But how could Ryukawa Tsukio's body withstand divine ability user-level power? This burst of power, once unleashed, caused his body to start cracking at a visible rate, with signs of cell decay appearing. He quickly shoved a handful of pills into his mouth, only slightly mitigating the collapse. But one thing was undeniable. Ryukawa Tsukio was now no weaker than Gogh. Fang Jueyu, you forced me to this. The 8 snake heads lunged at Fang Jueyu with overwhelming force, causing the whole sea region to shake violently as if an earthquake and tsunami had occurred. Young master, step back. This guy is really strong now. Gogh's expression turned unusually serious. An ancient and noble aura surrounded Gogh, his body exuding a faint golden light as if preparing to unleash a powerful martial art. Moo, like the roar of a giant elephant, even the ground beneath him cracked, extending into a fissure towards the sea. Holy Elephant Sky Crashing Strike. This martial arts level wasn't as high as Fang Jueyu's Great Wilderness Prison Sky Finger, but Gogh's immense power allowed him to unleash the martial art's full strength. The golden elephant shadow and Orochi clashed, locked in a stalemate, causing violent earthquakes around the East Kodo realm. Countless residents were startled awake, though the East Kodo realm, situated on the Pacific Ring of Fire, was accustomed to such phenomena, and their structures were highly earthquake-resistant. At most, a few items shattered. Boom! The golden elephant and the black 8-headed serpent exploded. The powerful shockwave sent Fang Jueyu flying, while Gogh excitedly barked nonstop. Woof woof woof! Gogh furiously scratched the ground with its front paws, finally digging out Fang Jueyu's head. Fortunately, Gogh shielded most of the blast's impact, leaving Fang Jueyu only disheveled but unharmed. He hadn't expected Ryukawa Tsukio to be a match for Gogh. Damn, desperate measures indeed. Fang Jueyu's eyes gleamed cunningly at the dog-eat-dog scenario. He then shifted his gaze to Gogh. Gogh, you're well fed. It's time to do some work, isn't it? The thick smoke dissipated, but Gogh still stood guard in front of Fang Jueyu like a towering presence. His clothes were a bit damaged, and there was a trace of blood at the corner of his mouth. This was the first time Fang Jueyu had seen Gogh injured for so long. Gogh, are you okay? Fang Jueyu asked with concern as he tossed over a high-grade healing pill. He never hesitated to be generous with his own people. Young master, it's just a small injury, nothing serious. He's hurt much more than I am. Gogh swallowed the pill, and moments later, the medicine took effect, restoring him to a vibrant state. Just as he said, Ryukawa Tsukio's condition could only be described as miserable. The Orochi behind him had only 3 heads left, and Ryukawa Tsukio had turned into a bloody figure. The injuries on his body weren't from the battle with Gogh, but from the collapse of his own body. Ryukawa Tsukio was in dire straits, but his face still wore a sinister smile. Dense black mist spread out, and the shadow of the Orochi behind him once again returned to a state of having 8 heads. The power of this Orochi had likely already reached above the mid-level of a divine ability user. Otherwise, there couldn't be such dense energy in the divine core. Host, you can't increase your power any further. Your body can't hold on, said Yu Xing with a flustered tone. I want to kill him. Ryukawa Tsukio had been blinded by jealousy and anger, but now the only slim chance of survival was to kill Fang Jueyu. Yu Xing seemed to want to persuade him further, but there truly was no other option. Young master, this young man is too strange. Just in case, you should have the mistress send a few more people over, or have the mistress come in person. The mistress Gogh referred to was naturally his father's woman, Zhuang Xinyan. After all, Fang Jueyu had also practiced that lecherous dual cultivation technique, and every one of his women was above a divine ability user. Any one of them could easily crush Ryukawa Tsukio. It's unnecessary. My stepmother is a woman after all, she needs her beauty sleep. It's not worth disturbing her over this small matter, Fang Jueyu waved his hand. But young master, Gogh was a bit anxious now. This matter clearly had already surpassed the limits of his control. Aside from the power of Fang Jueyu's family, so far, no one on Earth had emerged with power nearing that of a divine ability user. Ryukawa Tsukio's power was still climbing, even nearing that of a divine ability user. Although his state wouldn't last long, it was still filled with threat. Don't worry, when have I ever done anything without confidence? Fang Jueyu patted the dust off his body. Gogh, take a rest, leave the rest to me. Urguzi. Woof woof. Upon hearing Fang Jueyu's call, Urguzi perked up and wagged its tail vigorously. Urguzi, bite him to death, don't give me any face. Young master, Gogh couldn't hold back. It's true that Urguzi had some skills, but it was just agile and sturdy, not necessarily good at fighting. Don't underestimate it, it's not an ordinary dog. Fang Jueyu waved his hand. Watch its performance. A dog? Ryukawa Tsukio looked incredulously at the black dog. He initially thought Fang Jueyu was about to reveal some trump card, but it seemed he wanted this dog to fight him. Was he insane? Ha ha ha, Fang Jueyu, is a dog all that your family's 5,000 years of foundation amounts to? Or have all your elders left Earth, leaving you with nothing but a few source energy user bodyguards? Idiot, you think it's just a dog. He knew that Urguzi was just lazy. He couldn't even see its current level, and even Zio you couldn't detect it. But after spending nearly a year in the Super God Academy with the heavenly barking dog, could it be a useless dog? Host, that dog seems a bit off. Yu Xing echoed in Ryukawa Tsukio's ear. Off, it's just a dog. I could crush it with one foot. 8 enormous heads lunged toward Urguzi, but that small half-meter-high body wasn't even enough for the Orochi to get stuck in its teeth. Ryukawa Tsukio, you might not believe it if I tell you, but there's a chance you can't even beat my dog. Idiot, Ryukawa Tsukio had no more patience to waste words with Fang Jueyu. The speed of those 8 heads suddenly surged, as if to tear it apart. However, the scene of blood and gore didn't occur. The heads stopped just half a meter away from Urguzi. Those pairs of green eyes actually showed an expression of fear. What's going on? Ryukawa Tsukio was amazed to discover that he had lost control over this power. Although the Orochi had been dead for who knows how many years, a sliver of instinct seemed to remain in the divine core. This instinct clearly transmitted to Ryukawa Tsukio, and he could feel it. The power was actually afraid of this black dog in front of it. Owo, Urguzi let out a low growl, its eyes glowing with an eerie purple light, a breath of ancient fierce beast emanating from its body. This aura, impossible. How could such a thing appear on such a barren planet? Absolutely impossible. Yu Xing screamed hysterically, as if it had seen the most terrifying thing in the world. Yu Xing, what's going on? Besides knowing there was a top-level civilization's intelligence system on Fang Jueyu, this was the most exaggerated reaction from Yu Xing so far. No, even at that time, it hadn't been this panicked. Host, it's a soul-devouring beast. A soul-devouring beast, run, Yu Xing shouted. Trying to run, it's too late, Fang Jueyu sneered. Ever since Urguzi had shown its terrifying power last time, Fang Jueyu made a special effort to research information about the soul-devouring beast. The soul-devouring beast was a shapeless creature whose appearance depended on where it was born. On Earth, a soul-devouring beast would take on the appearance of Earth's creatures, which could be a cat, a rabbit, a dog, or even a pig. But outward appearances were deceiving, and this didn't change the fact that the soul-devouring beast was at the top of the food chain among cosmic beasts. A full-grown soul-devouring beast could definitely reach the peak of controller level, and over 80% of soul-devouring beasts, if they didn't fall, would become transcenders. This was a difference in the level of life itself. Although Urguzi was far from adulthood, and could be said to be in its infancy, with Fang Jueyu's massive supply of pills, it should have reached the level of a source energy user. But this type of creature, even with natural growth, had the ability to easily fight across levels. let alone one that had studied for a while at the War Academy like Urguzi. Awo, Urguzi roared again. The black mist forming the shadow of the Orochi desperately surged into Ryukawa Tsukio's body, as if fleeing from something. This pressure from soul and bloodline, even though the divine core of the Orochi retained only instinct, was still unstoppable. Seeing the unfavorable situation, Ryukawa Tsukio immediately had thoughts of escape. He didn't dare think about treasures from the universe or top-level civilization's intelligent systems anymore. But the nature of Urguzi had already been activated. Now, trying to run was too late. A massive purple shadow over 500 feet tall emerged from behind Urguzi. Although it still had the form of a dog, it was now adorned with horns and a pair of giant wings, with an imposing presence that blocked out the sun and sky. Host, this is the true form of the soul-devouring beast. I see now. Fang Jueyu watched in shock as that divine demon-like body opened its massive mouth and swallowed the incarnation of the Orochi, along with Ryukawa Tsukio.